Hi, my name is Rico and this is a Janko piano. And let me try to explain you why I think that Janko pianos might be particularly useful for guitar players or bass players to learn the piano and to get used to it. Because guitar players are used to just use some chord shapes, like for example a major chord or a minor chord, and then move them left or right with these barré chords. So they're used to having, for example, one shape of a major chord, and then they can move it left or right. And that's pretty easy. And when you start learning the piano, then you have the problem that you cannot really do the same. So you would, for example, take a C major chord, and if you move it to the right, all of a sudden you have a D minor chord. So you cannot keep the same shapes. And it might be a bit frustrating for guitar players in the beginning to learn the piano. They cannot use their logical way of approaching the instrument. And I have the same background. I also used to play bass and a little bit of guitar and so on, so I was used to that. And then I started playing piano just a couple of years ago, and I really missed that feature that I could transpose so easily. And then on the Janko piano you can actually do that because it's built up very logically, so there are no irregularities in here. Might look a little bit confusing with the black and white colors, but actually it's very systematic, so you always really go up chromatically here. There are no irregularities like on the classical piano where going up the white keys you sometimes get a whole tone from C to D, for example, or you get a semitone from E to F, even though the distances are the same. Here it's completely logical. So the first row here, it's built up of 4 rows. You have the first row, it's actually whole tone sequence. And the second row is also whole tone sequence. So completely systematic. And the third and the fourth row are just repetitions of the first 2 rows. You see actually the key is connected here, it's the same key. You just have 2 different points where you can press it. And this is just for ergonomics, so that you can use your thumb down here and your longer fingers up here. But in principle the first 2 rows would be enough to play everything. And now the nice thing is, like just like on the guitar, you can just take chord shapes and move them. For example, let's take a major chord, like this. So this is a major third and this is a minor third. So this is a major chord. And now you can just move it left or right. Like on a guitar. Or like, for example, a minor chord looks like this. So this is a minor third, this is a major third. So you can just remember that shape, that's a minor shape. Doesn't matter if it's D minor or E minor or anything else. It always works. And the same for scales. Let's take, for example, a C major scale. And you can take exactly the same fingering for any other major scale, like for example a D major scale. Or a E major. Yeah. Or whatever, a D sharp major. It's always the same. Like on a guitar, you just move it on the right to the right, to the left, and for a scale you can use the same fingering, the same shape. And that's actually very useful for your muscle memory, because your body, your hands just know how a certain scale fingering or certain chord shape feels, and then you can play it. And you just practice it once, your fingers get used to it, and you know when I do this, it will be a major scale. Doesn't matter in which key you're playing in. Always major chords. Always minor chords. Always minor 7 chords. Always plays major 7 chords. So same shapes, just moved in left or right. Pretty easy.